Oh, excuse me a second. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Cover myself up a little bit. I am wearing a vest top, by the way. Let's bear with me. God, I've got freaking new growth everywhere. Alright, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I just want to talk about how I started my transition from male to female. If you are new, sorry if I've got little baby hairs roughly that are poking out everywhere that are new growth. I started my transition, let me think, around about when I was 17. I was 17 when I first started experimenting with female clothing, and I was just getting the gist of how I felt. I've always felt the way I have. Oh, if you're wondering what I'm drinking, Pepsi Max, roughly. I've always been Pepsi Max drinker thanks to my sister, and Pepsi Max Cherry. Yeah, I started my just figuring things out when I was about 17. I'm 29 now, and next week I am on Thursday 2 months on estrogen. I started around about 17. I started experimenting. You could class it as cross-dressing, because I wanted to see how I would initially feel about being full-time female, and then throughout the years I just started wearing female clothing after that, and I've done it ever since. I did it to make myself feel better. Now, when it comes to hair, I have worn wigs. I've grown my natural hair God knows how many times. This is the first time in a while that my hair is this long, and it is very long. As you can see roughly when I pull my hair, I've got only a couple of inches to go roughly to get my hair level to the back of my hair. But as you can see, I slept on my hair because I straightened it yesterday. I've got kinks and curls back in my hair. I have, when it comes to my hair, I've worn wigs, I've worn extensions. I will be purchasing some extensions in my new hair colour. I believe I'm light blonde. I could be wrong, excuse me. But I did that roughly, and throughout college I always stated that one day I'd be transitioning. At first I thought I was camp gay, and I thought all camp gays felt the way I did, until I started doing research. And when I did research, I found out roughly that people that are like me, that identify as female but roughly are born physically male, are known as transgender. And I started doing more and more research. I have throughout the years through surgeries and stuff, and how that works out. And I basically started going to my GP, because this is what you'll have to do if you want to pursue this. But what I would do is what I did is, I can't remember when it was, I transitioned for a whole year. Obviously I won wigs, but I did that for a whole year, and just to make sure, well, this is definitely the path I wanted to go down, and it is lovely. I feel 10 times better than I have in years. I also grew my nails. I've been growing them since I was 17 anyway, roughly, because I've always wanted long nails, and my nails are natural and they are lovely and long. As you guys can see. I've always done, I transitioned for a year, but after that year I grew my hair God knows how many times. I also had my hair to my shoulders one time before, and I went to get my hair professionally done blonde, and she fried my hair. I ended up with little bits of roughly a chemical called ruffler, and I was not pleased. I had to shave my head when it took me so long just to freaking grow it. I mean, my hair is now blonde. It is not fried. I know it looks like it's fried. It's not. It's because I've been sleeping on it. The only thing, even though my hair's really healthy, the part that did break off was all these pieces of my hair. Because this used to be so much longer. I think it used to be. Sorry, it's because my hair's so light, right? As you guys can see, it used to be just slightly touching past my ears on the bottom of my industrial ball. That broke off because it was the oldest part of my hair, which I'm not too bothered. I still have loads of hair and my hair is healthy. The breakage could have been worse, but it wasn't. That was the only part that roughly broke off, was just the ends of the top of my hair, because I've been growing that out since day one. And if you're a long time subscriber, you will remember I only had the top of my head for hair, and I've dyed it blonde, I've dyed it grey, I've dyed my hair quite a few colours. The only colour I haven't gone is blue, but I won't do that. I did kind of like a bluey grey roughly, so kind of the same thing. But the thing is, roughly, I knew that one day I wanted to transition. I told my mum, roughly, I says, before I'm 30, I want to basically be on hormones. And I started going to the gender clinic in about 2012, so we're going back a good couple of years. But I had to get the referral to my GP, but I had to research where to go. So I started basically going on the NHS and asking about gender clinics, because I've been doing research, and to help with dysphoria, roughly, that was the only path. And I searched up an address, and I just basically asked my doctor to refer me. I said, because I don't feel like a man, I said I feel like a woman, and I started explaining certain stuff, and they referred me. Now I have a lot of space to fill from there, roughly. It was like, I did get diagnosed with gender dysphoria, or gender identity disorder, or gender dysphoria, however you want to pronounce it. And I stopped going because physically I was ready, mentally I was not. And at that time I did have a boyfriend. We still keep in touch, but things changed, and loads of bad stuff started happening with me, loads of bad trauma and stuff, which brings us to basically when I first referred myself to the gender clinic again, which was 2 years ago, I believe. Or was it 2.5? I don't remember. I know the waiting list is really long now. And I had to go to my first appointment, even though they had my old records, which they did. And they were happy with my progress. And when I first went to my appointment, I gave them every single document. Because if you're going to do this, roughly, you have to be prepared. Roughly, you have to show them that this is what you want. And I changed my name officially by deed poll. That's what it's called here in the UK. Is you get your name changed by a UK deed poll. And I changed every document. I've been known as female for I think it's 5 or 6 years now, or it could be less. I don't know, but I know it's a good amount. But like I told the gender clinic, I've always been calling myself female. Obviously I told them roughly I thought I was cam gay, but then when I started to realise I was transgender, I basically called myself female. So when people said gay, I said trans. So I always corrected people. Even now I still correct people. And yeah, my second appointment, I thought we were going to discuss hormones and that a little bit. What we were doing was just basically filling in the gaps. And what happened was they were like, oh, what do you want out of this? And I'm like, surgery, roughly, laser hair removal and hormone HRT. And they were like, oh, we'll send a letter out to you, but we need you to have a blood test. I had my blood test, and I don't give blood very easy, even on my test for my hormones to see if everything's okay. That's a whole other story. I don't give blood very easy, and when I went to my third appointment was with my original doctor who diagnosed me back in 2012. And back then I had bright red hair, which I eventually stripped and went back to brunette, and now I'm back to blonde, but I'm staying blonde for sure. But the thing was, when I went to my appointment, he was like, I can't believe the progress you made and that and how far I've come. He told me, I knew one day I'd see you again. He says, when you were really prepared and ready. And like I told him, I says, roughly, it felt like the right time. I says, but physically I was ready. I says, mentally I wasn't. And he told me, he says, yeah, he says, I kind of got that vibe off you. He says, it was like you wanted it. He says, but you weren't thoroughly there. He says, but I can tell roughly that this is what you want. This is basically the only solution for you. And he says to me, he says, right, he says, I know exactly what you want. He says, but I need you to verify it. He says, what do you want? I says, to go on hormones. I says, laser hair removal and surgery. And he says to me, he says, I can refer you for hormones today. He says, but I need you to sign some paperwork. And he says, just read this, and they give you a list of basically all the side effects that can happen, including blood clots. So you will have to keep checking your legs at the bottom of them, roughly, for lumps and bumps, roughly, because unfortunately with HRT you can be prone to it. But when I signed that document, he was like, right, this is now on record. He said, I will send a copy to your doctor and a copy to you. And he says, let's get the ball rolling. And I couldn't stop smiling. He says to me, he says that I was diagnosed obviously with gender dysphoria roughly again. He says, and when I first saw you, he says, I never saw a man. He says, all I saw was female. And he says, you were just waiting just for the right time. He says, and clearly this time you've sorted yourself out. And when I signed away and that, I couldn't stop smiling and that, and he was like, I'm so happy for you. He says, and I can tell you're really happy. And that, he says, right, he says, as for laser hair removal, he says, unfortunately we can't do it now. He says, because what we need you to do is go on hormones, basically estrogen, for 3 months. I have my appointment next week, and I will be on my third, I would have finished my 2nd month dose. I'll be going on my 3rd dose on the 30th. I'll be finishing that, but on the 1st, I'll be on month 3 dose. And he says, what then I'll need you to do, he says, it's up to your GP or you, roughly, if you have your blood test every 4 or 6 weeks. And I've already had my blood test. I had it around about the 6th, roughly, because that was 4 to 6, around about 4 to 6 weeks. It was in between. And he told me, he says, once we get your results, he says, then we can see if you need to go up a dose, if you're getting enough estrogen. He says, and we'll be talking testosterone blockers. Obviously, it's not with my original doctor, it's with a woman I seen before on my 2nd appointment or my 1st appointment. I don't remember. But the thing is, we'll be discussing next week on the 1st, going up in dose in estrogen and testosterone blockers, so stay tuned for that video. But I don't know if we're going to be talking surgery or laser hair removal, because those are the main, even though I have my hormones. Just to clarify, not all trans people go for hormone replacement therapy. Some are more comfortable in their own body. I did this for me and my own health and my mental state, because I knew this was the only solution for me and the only path to take, and I'm glad I took it. I don't know what new hormones I'm going to be on, but the dose I take is estradiol lactate. I take the I believe it's 1 milligram. Yeah, I take the, it's basically estradiol lactate, but the thing is, it's called Progonova. I take 2 a day roughly, and this is what they look like. As you can see, roughly, this is my 2nd one roughly, and these will be gone by the 30th. Roughly, I will have 1 pill left on the 30th before, and that's the day I pick up my third dose, so 3 months soon. And yeah, roughly, if you are gonna basically want to do this, I would highly suggest that you experiment with your role as a male or female, but this is mainly more directed towards transgender females. I would highly recommend that you either buy wigs, extensions, or grow your hair out, and just start experimenting at home. That's what I did, and it's led me today where I am today. I have very long hair. It looks like I've had basically a very short bob cut. I know it looks like I have a lot of breakage, but I don't. The only thing that happened was at the top where this freaking light's killing me, where the ends of my hair, because they were much longer, broke off. I'm not really bothered because of the oldest parts of my hair, like I've said, but my hair is very long, it's extremely healthy, and I've basically got no problems with my hair. It's just going in that awkward stage once the sides catch up with the back, I will be getting it cut so that it's one length and just continue to grow it. I will be staying blonde. I don't know if I'm going medium blonde or I might stay at this kind of blonde because I love how bright it is. I love how roughly it warms my face up, and as you can see I am now rocking a kind of like a middle part. I'm doing that because of the breakage that happened just at the ends of my hair, otherwise I would be naturally wearing a side part, but I don't mind the middle part because I have these pieces which I originally cut into a fringe have now grown this much, and this is thanks to the St. Tropical Hair Growth Vitamins. Now I'm still going to do my video on them, but I can tell you with certainty roughly they've worked and they've changed a lot, including my hairline, which I cannot show you because my hair's too light. But the thing is, literally they've worked a treat, and I will be repurchasing, and I will be going on to my third and fourth month roughly and ordering some more because they have worked wonders, and I do have a really good hair care routine anyway. My hair is feeling a little bit just dry, but thing is I've been sleeping on it and that also. Yeah, just start experimenting with makeup, hair wigs, hair extensions, grow out your real hair, however you're going to do it. Make sure you have everything planned. Change your name officially and basically get everything changed. Save your documents because they will be important to you roughly when you basically go to the gender clinic. That's just the gist of how things are currently going with me. Things are finally working out for me, and hopefully they will work out for you. Anyway guys, I'm gonna get going. Stay tuned for next week for the gender clinic update where I might go up in dose to 2 milligrams or maybe 3. I don't know how they do it, but I'll also be most probably getting testosterone blockers because my testosterone's according to that result it's gone really high. Stay tuned for the 2-month update. Be warned, there's not really that much change, but I'm still gonna make it. And stay tuned for a Superdrug boots